Alright folks, JP the Third, VNsNow.com, back with you for more. Wait a minute, is this thing recording? Hold on. Yes, it is recording. Nice. Professional broadcaster, folks. We're back here with more A Light in the Dark. We're on day 2. Day 1 was very fascinating. We'll see what this has in store for us. Typical early morning. Doubt anything good is going to come from this. So cold. I didn't feel any better after sleeping. Instead, I felt even more tired. I was hoping to find a chance to escape when she fell asleep. However, time passed and she didn't show any sign of closing her eyes. I couldn't help but fall asleep first. The last thing I saw was her lighting another cigarette. My body must really be exhausted if I could fall asleep like that. Dazed, I opened my eyes and saw an unfamiliar face right before me. Who are you? Ah! I jumped back reflexively, trying to shield my chest with my hands. My tied up hands reminded me once more of my kidnapped status. Regardless, I was shocked by this new face. I stared at the new girl before me. First impressions were her beautiful eyes, clear and light brown like amber. The thick coat and dark red sweater she wore looked pretty old. Her small body suggested she might be in junior high, and clearly shouldn't be here. I didn't know who she was, but I easily noted the knife in her hand. She stared straight at me, but didn't seem to want to say anything, which emitted an inexplicable pressure. Who are you? Really, you're gonna get a little kid to do your dirty work? I don't know who you are, but you're a jerk. I tried to ask her, but she refused to answer and shook her head. With pressed lips, she watched my every move. I couldn't find the kidnapper around. There were only the two of us in the room. In other words, a good chance to escape. She's scared. Let's not try and... Can you untie the rope for me? Oh, you're no help. Head shaking. Seeing she had no intention to help, I tried to untie myself. Her expression vividly changed upon noticing my attempt. Don't move! As expected. Only another victim or the accomplice would be here. If she wasn't tied up and instead held a knife, then she must be my guard. If we can get untied, we can take her. Yeah. The quiet girl and the antisocial girl. What a bizarre combo. If this was a plot in a movie, it would easily trigger a backlash from viewers. It appeared reality could be more ridiculous than fiction. That's an argument that can be had another day. I breathed out and couldn't help but laugh out loud from the stress. More notes. I had no idea why they would pick her as a partner. I could defeat someone of her size even if she held a knife. Assuming she was alone. Is there anyone else here? There would be no progress if I didn't strike a conversation. I decided to speak proactively after giving it some thoughts. She stared at me tightly with no response, making one wonder if she understood. You were asked to guard me, right? Still no response. Can you untie the rope for me? My arms are getting number if I stay like my arms are getting number if I stayed like this. She shook her head, finally speaking after being silent for a while. Big Sis told me not to listen to you. Okay, I kind of figured it was her little sister. So that's why she wants the money. Her voice was light and quiet, like a smoke in the air. Or smoke in the air. I'm sure that's just Chinese English translation there. I finally heard her speak, yet it was frustrating to hear something so pointless. And let's just press for clarification since the main character doesn't seem to be getting it. Who is this Big Sis? Is she the one with the long hair that kidnapped me? Where is she? I need to talk to her. After continuously asking a few questions, I got not one answer. Perhaps I was asking them too eagerly, and that made her cautious. She looked at me suspiciously, but refused to say anything. I told myself to hang in there. I have to stay calm in these situations. Like you've been through this before. I took a deep breath to suppress my unease. I tried to smile and lighten up the mood. Do you have anything to eat? Don't tell me your sister doesn't allow that too. I had no strength with an empty stomach. I didn't eat anything since yesterday, and my stamina depleted faster under this cold weather. I had to save my energy for my chance. This was a war of attrition. Either she let me go, or I give up first. Answering with her actions, she put a bowl on the ground, grabbed a bottle of water with difficulty, and carefully poured some water into it. Are you kidding me? Here. She handed me the bowl, and then brought me a pack of cookies. Worrying that I might escape, she nervously moved her gaze away from me. The hand grasping the knife never loosened up. Observing her actions quietly, I hoped to read her thoughts, but couldn't tell anything except stress. I drank the water with much effort, spilling quite some of my clothes due to my tied-up hands. My clothes were red again, after finally getting dried too. The hard cookies tasted only of flour and nothing else. Even with water, they were hard to swallow. I knew it was not the time to be picky, and I had to cherish any opportunity to replenish my strength. Noticing her conflicting gaze, I asked, "What?" "Big Sis is not a bad person. She will let you go when she gets the money. So please don't move." Let's get her to trust us. Then break her neck. I will collaborate. It's a little dark, but this game is pretty dark. At least for now. Right. I didn't finish the full sentence, but she already looked happy and clearly dropped her guard a little. Organizing the information I could gather, I started to plan my next steps. Would the teacher notice something was wrong? Would the teacher notice something was wrong if I hadn't gone to cram school for 2 days? Unlikely considering how often I skipped it. Damn it. Unless it lasted long enough. But even in the worst case scenario, they would only contact my parents instead of the police. I started to regret not having more friends who would notice me being missing. Expecting her to let me go upon getting the ransom, would it really be this easy? Remembering that vague smile, I didn't feel much assurance. The girl was squatting next to the wall and stared at me while hugging her legs. There was no curiosity in her eyes, as though nothing interested her here. She was just guarding this place, following someone's direction. Big Sis, huh? Considering their relationship, it was unlikely she planned the kidnapping. She was most likely just an accomplice following orders. Unlike some stereotypical bad girls who smoke or dye their hair, she looked like a well-behaved but shy kid. At least if I didn't meet her in this situation. So who's planning all this? Somehow I felt things weren't as simple as they seemed. There were too many points of suspicion if they were the only ones planning this. Even carrying me here would be problematic for them. Also, the person she was contacting also concerned me. Hey. I called out to catch her attention and tried to start a conversation. She was younger than the kidnapper yesterday and with much less enmity. There might be a chance to convince her. How did you get my information? You're a student, right? Do you know what you're doing? She stared at me with no change of expression. I wasn't sure if she heard me. This might be even more troublesome than the other one. I could at least guess my kidnapper's thoughts if there were some sort of conversation. I was only wasting time with her if this kept going. I don't know what she told you, but this is kidnapping. I tried to sound more threatening to make her talk. There would be punishment even if you are underage, and that would involve your family too. Do you know that? They're just using you. They might blame this all on you later. Big Sis would not do that. She abruptly interrupted me. How can you be sure? Just because she was kind to you? Do you think she would still be on your side by then? Finally making her talk, I tried to push forward. Has she told you her plan after getting the money? Do you really know her? Big Sis would not do such a thing. You don't know anything about her. She interrupted me loudly and stood up all of a sudden, her little body shaking. I didn't expect such a big reaction. Perhaps the relationship with her big sis is closer than I thought. Yes, perhaps it's literal or we just pissed her off. Of course I don't know your big sis. I stopped for a few seconds and stared at her coldly. All I know is that she's a kidnapper. That's all that matters. Liar! You don't know why, big sis! She raised the knife and yelled at me with her chest heaving up and down, but swallowed the word before the key part. Why what? Big sis is just Facing my questioning, she lowered her gaze. Worried she might be getting too triggered and really harm me, I decided to change the subject despite my desire to continue. Anyways, I don't get it, but you better give it some thought. I coldly ended the conversation, leaving her staring at me hesitantly. No matter how much faith she once had in others, damn it. Excuse me. No matter how much faith one had in others, no one would stay still after hearing those words. I wasn't sure how effective that was. I can only wait and see. It's not like that. Not able to retort, she depressingly squatted next to the wall and mumbled to herself with her head in her arms. Seeing her almost about to cry made me feel a little uncomfortable, but I would do anything as long as I could get out of here. Besides, they were the ones at fault here. There should be no sense of guilt involved, even if I hurt them a little. Don't tell me they left him with the kid all day. Let's try to strike a conversation with her. Got a little intense there. What time is it now? I can't tell the time. My stamina is low. Only exits are the door and the window. Based on the height of the window, jumping out of it is unlikely. Maybe it's a discrimination due to poverty. Okay, so we got a little bit more information. The young girl looked emaciated. She was most likely no older than the average junior high school student. Okay. Let's do some observation first. It's a wooden wardrobe closet of a certain age for nasty moldy smell. What's that on the ground? There's quite a variety of books, ranging from magazine, reference books to even cookbooks. One thing they share in common is their poor condition. The theory of justice, the Lucifer effect, quite a few things I've never heard of. There might be some used books picked up from somewhere. Okay, let's back out. That's what I wanted to check. Well, honestly, I should have checked the calendar too, but let's see if we can get a conversation. You really like reading, don't you? Yes. She had been reading in the corner for a few days now. Really? Oh well. She changed to another book after finishing one, never getting bored throughout the afternoon. I would lose my patience if I had to read for more than an hour or two. The book selection was pretty diverse, ranging from novels, magazines, to travel guides. It didn't appear if there was any process of selection. Where did you get all these books? You borrowed them? It was unlikely for them to buy books if they had to kidnap me for money. However, there was no library barcode on them either. On top of the fact, they looked quite old. Big Sis gave them to me. She answered without raising her head and kept flipping through the magazine. Big Sis wants me to read more so people won't look down on me in the future. Huh. That explanation was unexpected. I thought she would say educated people are all liars and rich people are all demons. All the talk about how damnable the rich people are, yet she still want to be like them. So, did your sis go to school? Only till middle school. She raised her head with a rare smile on her face. She might not look like it, but Big Sis had good grades. Really? Good grades. Tried to imagine that girl in a school uniform and just couldn't see her as someone with good grades. I wonder why. Let's try to strike up a conversation. Alright. One more point. Let's see if I can get her sympathy. So cold. She made a sound to indicate she heard me. I waited a while before continuing to talk. If only it was a little warmer. With my movement restrained, I had no way to get information if they didn't talk to me. To get information from her, I needed to find a way to make her talk. After all, telling her directly I want to talk most likely wouldn't work. You really don't talk much, do you? Oh. One word ended the conversation. Even I didn't know how to continue. Regardless of our differences in age and background, plus the fact that she was the kidnapper's accomplice. That didn't go as well as I thought. I need some more action points. The prison life was surprisingly boring. You couldn't do anything with tied hands, and the only person you could talk to was as silent as a rock as she sat in the corner of the room. There was no phone, no TV, no internet. The usually insufficient 24 hours now felt way too lengthy. Yet she didn't look one bit bored. Flipping through a book from God knows where, she observed my movements from time to time. I ate the same cracker for breakfast and lunch. I also went to the bathroom once, hoping to find a chance to escape. She stood outside with a knife when I was in there, neither rushing me or leaving. Finding nothing useful there, I had to leave without much more ado. Don't you eat anything more normal? Or do you just love crackers? She ate the same thing as me. That sort of cheap cookie was tasteless no matter how long you chewed, only making your mouth dry. Unless you won a year's worth of it from a lottery, there really was no reason to keep eating this. I started the conversation out of boredom. She raised her head thoughtfully. This is very cheap and lasts long. Aren't you worried about malnutrition? There's nothing but starch, let alone fiber or vitamin. Pretty ironic for something with the pretty name, Nutrition Biscuit. Oh. Showing no concern about balancing her diet, she didn't even raise her hand. Just replied nonchalantly. Hanging out with her this whole morning, she didn't give any sort of proper response except when it was about her big sis. Pretty incredible, I would say. Strangely, it was not like she cared about this big sis that much, more like she just didn't care about anything else. Did you figure something out with my dad? No idea. Her answer without a second thought didn't appear to be a lie. However, it did trigger my curiosity if she didn't even care about the status of the ransom. No matter who you are, you must care about something, whether it is family, work, or even a dream. Yet she did none of that. There wasn't even some sort of enmity against me, only caution at most. I gotta try to keep pressing her. Why do you like your big sis? Hesitating a little, I decided to follow how she addressed the person in question. Because big sis took good care of me. That's it. She said no more despite the wait. Then I realized she had finished. She frowned and stared at me. You were willing to do all of this just because she took good care of you. That's a lot. You're just way too easy to be satisfied. What the hell? If you treated her nicely, she might even kill someone for you. Kidnapping is no small crime in any country. It can easily end up getting you more than 10 years of jail time. I finally understood why gangs like to recruit students. Of that age, anyone nice to you must be a friend, and one could do anything for a friend. Unable to retort, a bit of confusion flew through her eyes. Because Big Sis is nice, so I want to help her. Is that strange? She said quietly. Depends on helping with what? It was a simple question, but with implication. Maybe no one would take care of her, except this Big Sis. Many things you take for granted aren't the case for us at all. Remembering her words from yesterday, I realized they may have some real difficulties. Now I just feel a little sympathy. Maybe they just had their reason to do this. As she said, the world is not fair. If only I could convince them to let me go. Within the silence, a sudden vibration of the cell phone sounded extra sharp. Unlike yesterday, the girl picked up the phone immediately. Hello? Maybe being asked about me, the girl glanced at me when answering the call. Yes, it's alright. I had no idea what the conversation was and could only guess from her words. Okay. It was the kidnapper from yesterday. Where would she be if she needed to call to confirm my situation? Did she already contact someone to get the ransom? Or did they have other bases of operation? He's next to me. Alright. The girl handed me the phone. I raised my tied hand and then shrugged helplessly. She hesitated a little, and then put the phone next to my ear. Headbutt her! Give me a headbutt option! If with this distance, maybe I could bump into her with the element of surprise. I could probably still overwhelm her even with my limbs tied. Before making up my mind, I heard a voice from the phone. Hello? The cold voice sounded a little different from the phone. The noisy background seemed to be from somewhere outside, maybe a restaurant or a karaoke place. Hey, can you hear me? Yeah. I see you're still kicking. Sorry to disappoint. She didn't seem pleased with my greeting. Maybe she was expecting me to get all panicked and shiver into the corner of a wall. The more she wanted to see me in fear, the more I wanted to act indifferently. It's not really any sort of strategy, just some pointless showing of resistance. You should know by now, but I will repeat this again. Don't try to run, don't ask questions. I am watching you, and if anything happens... She paused and then left a threat. Even if I agree to return you, I am not breaking the deal if you are missing an arm or a leg. Got it. I didn't even need to guess what she wanted to say. Lose an arm or leg, throw me off a cliff, blah, blah, blah. I like this guy. Hell, even agreeing to return me alive was already saintly of her. Most wouldn't even intend to keep the hostage alive. Hostages usually get silenced after the kidnapper gets money and are ready to run. I didn't plan to believe her word from the beginning. If I played too nice, I might get killed without knowing how. It's my dad paying. None of your business. Just worry about yourself. Yeah, that's a no. But, bullshit. Why would I ask about that if not out of concern of my own safety? I wanted to ask more, but got stopped immediately. I'm heading back now, so stay put. That's all. Hey, wait. Before I could say anything, she hung up. Hang up right after she said whatever she wanted. What a woman. Hearing the empty sounds of a disconnected call, I knew being mad would make no difference. What did Big Sis say? She approached me once to call and then asked me worriedly. Within a short period of time, I wondered what to say. Trying to manipulate her will backfire. She told me to stay put and she'll be home soon. Oh. I want her to trust me. I want her to know that I'll tell her the truth. That way I can break her neck! What is violence against children? I don't know what's gotten into me today. Not showing any emotion, she simply took away the phone and sat back down in the corner. I remembered how the big sis sat next to the window smoking, seemingly lost in her thoughts and impatience. In contrast, the girl was way too quiet, holding her legs like a kitten waiting for its master to come home. How much does she really know about the kidnapping? She didn't even know me, know what to do. Her big sis asked her to guard me, so she guarded. Her big sis asked her not to talk to me, so she didn't talk to me. Whether it was about the outcome or the reward, she was clueless and didn't care. She just had faith in her big sis. Such blind trust was not far from stupidity. I almost felt bad for her. Time felt much longer when you were waiting. There was sigh and relief when I heard the sound. The sound of a motorcycle engine turning off somewhere in the distance could be heard. The approaching footsteps echoed through the staircase, empty but with a certain rhythm. There was no elevator. Was this an apartment or some privately owned house? I could only hear one person's steps, so there was no one coming back with her. I am back. The one who walked in was the same girl from the day before, aka the big sis. Same overcoat as yesterday, and her expression didn't change either. Welcome home. Right there. You cannot see me, but I am flipping the bird to both of them. I'm with this guy. Not sure what I had in mind. She suspiciously looked at me and handed the plastic bag in her hand to the other girl. Bento, eat it while it's still hot. Big sis, the younger girl whispered something in her ear. I couldn't tell the context from this distance. The girl nodded, staring dead straight at me. Once the girl finished, she moved towards me with the knife. She tried to check the rope, pulling it a few times to make sure it was tight enough. I told you I did nothing. If I can get out of this, do you think I will still stay here? Quiet. Ask her then. She threw the other girl a questioning glance, which was answered by a silent nod. Her head wasn't even turned. It seemed like the bento was much more attractive than the situation here. She snorted unhappily, but couldn't find a reason to act up. She then just started to laugh scornfully. Whatever. I doubt you have the balls to try anything. You have the rich daddy and mommy arranging everything for you from school to job. You probably even have a housemaid that cleans for you. You can't do shit on your own, can you? Here we go again. This ridiculous enmity was not just aimed at me, but anyone with a better life than her. What's the point hating all of these people? Would it change anything about her life? Wouldn't it be more practical if she tried to change something instead of all this hate? Well, I think that's why she kidnapped you, man. Just saying. Where did you go? She probably would only be more pissed off if this continued, so I decided to change the subject to avoid trouble. Why do I need to inform you, Not cutting me any slack, she raised her eyebrows provocatively. I sighed helplessly. This was really going nowhere if she kept up with this attitude. You started eating, don't mind me. Only after she spoke, I noticed the young girl didn't move her chopsticks despite having the bento open, as though waiting for her big sis to start the meal together. I had dinner already. You don't need to leave me anything. She softened the expression in her eyebrows and gently patted the young girl's head. There was even a smile on her face. The young girl nodded obediently. Even an outsider like me could tell how close they were. If anything, I wouldn't even believe she still had such an expression in her. More questions appeared in my mind seeing their interaction. With such familiarity, what was their relationship? The sound of water flowing in the bathroom reminded me I hadn't taken a shower in 2 days. Still felt uncomfortable even though I barely moved or sweated. I was willing to give up half of my worldly possessions for a hot shower and pay with my future income for a cup of cocoa as a bonus. The young girl was clearly starved and was quietly and happily eating the rice. She didn't even pay attention to me. My figure looked extra weak and small from here. I still couldn't believe she could be a kidnapper. What kind of family would allow her to do such a thing? Whatever. Considering my own family, I had no right to criticize others. Phew. The girl left the bathroom holding her hair. She only washed her face since there was no hot water. The light shined on her face, rendering the pale color a little more rosy, yet the face was still cold as ice. What are you looking at? She sensitively noticed my gaze and asked me with an eyebrow raised. Nothing. I was just thinking I hadn't taken a shower in a while. You think this is some fancy hotel, rich boy? I would have called the front desk with this level of accommodations. You keep talking. I dare you. Never mind. She snorted with contempt, then walked to the window to lightly shake the young girl's shoulder. The young girl had finished the bento and was falling asleep next to the wall despite her best efforts to stay awake. Go to bed to sleep. You'll catch a cold like this. She nodded sleepily and climbed into bed obediently, not caring at all about the dust on the top. She grabbed the bedsheet and laid down. Maybe she was really tired. It didn't take her long. It didn't take her long to completely fall asleep, leaving only the sound of steady breathing into... Okay. The girl walked to the window, opening her bento and quietly starting to eat. Nothing for me? Tormented by the scent of the food, I couldn't help myself and asked. You can just eat the cookies. How about just a cup of coffee? I have money in the purse. Rather than a hot dinner, I prefer some hot coffee to relax my nerve. You done yet? I had learned protesting wouldn't help me, and now the headache was even more unbearable without coffee. She looked troubled and was just absent-mindedly eating. She kept poking the chicken drumstick as if it were some sort of meaningless release of tension. Please stop playing with your food, even if you're not in the mood. I'll take it if you have no appetite. Hunger plus anger drove me to give that suggestion. I doubt doing that would solve your problem. Nevertheless, I noticed her darkened mood and decided to keep my mouth shut. Piecing all the clues together along with her reaction, I could only come up with one conclusion. Yes! You couldn't reach my dad? How did... Trying to trick me? Oh, good lord. We already told you this wasn't going to work. Rather than she slipped without thinking, her face instantly darkened. And I didn't mean anything. I just thought... Fearing she might lose her temper, I immediately tried to pass on the responsibility. However, she suddenly stood up. Oh, great. Are you looking down on me? Finding me easy to fool? She bit her lips, staring at me with much hatred. Voice colder than ever. Not at all. I'm just randomly guessing. There must be something wrong, and I doubt the police have found out about this so soon. Look, Oh crap. Her reaction far surpassed my expectations. I tried to explain myself, but it didn't stop her walking towards me. She walked closer and closer with the knife, with her eyes flashing with madness. Was she really going to do this? Now I was really fearing for my life for the first time ever. She looked like a cornered animal that would try anything in desperation. Don't struggle, don't struggle, don't struggle! Before she got the money, she wouldn't kill me. Just, yeah. If resistance was futile, I decided to close my eyes and grit my teeth, hoping she would not really do it. I smelled a faint scent and felt her hair on my cheek and her rapid breathing. What's that smell? Unbelievably, at this moment of life or death, I was thinking about something this insignificant. Against the skin was a cold sensation. The blade was right before my chest. A simple push would bury it deep in the flesh. I opened my eyes and saw the look of ice right before me. Don't lie to me. The voice next to my ear was light but clear. I will say it one more time. Don't lie to me. If you look down on me, you will regret it. Her voice was steady, but not the knife in her hand. She didn't clarify how she would do it, nor ask for my confirmation, yet this threat was more powerful than anything prior. All my words got stuck in my throat. My body was paralyzed to the point that I couldn't even blink. She meant it. I could read the emotion in her eyes. This was pure murderous intent. No question about it. She would do it if I did it again. I am done with folks like you. Don't think I won't do it. Worst case scenario, I will just die with you. No biggie for someone like me. She finished her sentence, then moved the knife away and walked back to the window. I just lay there on the ground motionlessly. My tense body was still trembling. Only till I confirmed something. They couldn't mean any time. The notion of her not touching me before getting the money, or having some backup plan, meant nothing to them. At this point, she had nothing to lose. I took a deep breath, while facing the window. That's how I calmed myself down since childhood. What I needed to do was stay the same. But this was no visual novel. What? Okay, you're leaning on the fourth wall a little bit too hard with that one. But the cruel reality. Okay, really got a little tense there. Everybody breathe. We're still alive. The death lamp drew a long shadow from her. What just occurred still creeped me out a little. Yeah! However, since she hadn't contacted my family, there was still a chance. I breathed in deeply, gathered the courage, and talked to her. I have a proposal. She just looked at the window motionlessly, showing no interest in my question. Let me go now, and all of my money is yours. It might not be much, about 70,000 to 80,000 NTD in total. A new Taiwanese dollar there. And I swear I will tell no one. Knowing she must be listening, I kept going on my own even without a response. You can guard me all the way to the ATM if you want to, or do it in any manner you prefer. You want to keep this down, right? Is this all necessary? I put in my last bit of strength to convince her. Considering her position, I tried to propose something that would be mutually beneficial. I believed no one would risk his or her own life until there was no other choice. Now it's still not too late. Think about it. The wait was so long that I thought there was no response, but she finally turned her head. There was no rage in her eyes, only exhaustion. Why should I believe you? Why should I believe that you will hand me the money and never call the cops? I couldn't answer out of hesitation. It was hard to create a situation where both sides can trust each other at the first place. I wouldn't agree to such terms if the roles were reversed. I would be the one in control once I got my freedom. She wouldn't be able to do anything to stop me from calling the cops. No answer. Then shut the fuck up and stop wasting my time. Rather than handing her fate to me, she rather believed in herself. Oh, my gathered confidence grew fainter and fainter, and I was temporarily out of ideas. But if this kept going, then what can I do to win your trust? I asked her with the last of my courage. Matching her stare, I could see the fragility under that cold look. She grew silent and started to ponder the question. Then a bitter smile appeared on her face. I don't know. She turned to the window and quietly said it again. I don't know. The mood is heavy. I must do something. Crap. What can I observe? I want to see that. What is this calendar? The date stopped at August 30th, 1999. If this is the date the original owner left this place, then it must be at least 15 years old. No wonder it looks this miserable. Or rather, it's kind of miserable. It's kind of a miracle for this place even to still be standing after so many years without any sort of maintenance. Let's check out. Okay, let's go back first. We gotta figure something out here. What do we know so far? Low stamina, so I can't ask too many questions because I gotta rest to get my stamina back. Let's see here. She seems close to the young girl. What's their relationship? So someone named Mr. Ken is involved. I must have been... I don't remember reading anything about a Mr. Ken. So that must have been something that would unlock in another dialogue tree. Either that or I just didn't read it correctly. So yeah, it must be another dialogue tree that I didn't open. That's good to know. I mean, that's probably will be fixed in post, but... Let's go. How much does she know about the kidnapping? I asked her about the young girl, hoping to know who she is. Huh? None of your business. She changed subject non-committally, but then after a while followed up with, she has nothing to do with this. I forced her to help. Oh. I was surprised by this answer. I thought she would push the responsibility on her. It now sounded like she was protecting her. What an interesting relationship. She seems to really trust you. She stared at me, biting her lips, but her internal turmoil was clear. She knows nothing. Okay, good. The young girl curled up in the bed, holding the bed covers tightly. She didn't seem to be in peace even at night. The girl sighed lightly, and then turned to me to emphasize her point again. I forced her here, and it was all my idea and decision. She repeated herself, as I was scared of involving the young girl. Got it. I replied professionally, knowing that's not the truth. There's no way for her to be this obedient if she was forced, let alone defending her big sis. The mood is heavy. Okay. Maybe I could have tried to push that, but my stamina is low enough as it is. So, what's your relationship? They interacted like siblings, yet the ages weren't even close. I am not in the mood to chat. You better stay quiet, too. I gotta try. It's less boring chatting. Crap! I am not in the mood to chat! Everything with violence, she squatted down and pulled my hair hard, by saying each word slowly. She really had no sense of humor. I didn't dare to say more, so I kept my mouth shut. God. We gotta pull back. That's better. Especially if I didn't get myself hit, I would be a little bit better. But do what I can. I should rest when I get the chance. It's getting late and I still couldn't find a way to change the situation. Instead of escaping or waiting for the ransom, the safest option was to convince her to let me go. Things could still get resolved without anything happening. It would not be this easy once the police got involved, though. But how? Even though I could tell she had hesitation, I couldn't win her trust. So I had to win her trust first. The sudden vibration broke the silence. She looked at the phone screen, then jolted a little as though getting electrocuted. She lowered her eyes and read the message. She raised the corner of her mouth, but didn't appear to be that happy. What? I had a bad feeling and instantly asked. There will be a call in 10 minutes. Tell your dad to pay up if you want to go home. Oh God. The unexpected change in events instantly froze my blood. This was way too soon. I was naive to think I still had time to convince her. The moment she reached my family, there was no turning back. The police would start taking action, the family preparing the ransom and the culprit preparing to escape. What now? What now? I quickly went through all the possibilities in my mind, but couldn't come up with a solution. I must not stop thinking. There must be a way. Time passed, second by second, and I had no time to hesitate. You just want money, right? Is there really no other way? Out of options, I gave my all and just yelled at her. Not giving her a chance to contemplate, I continued after a quick break. Let me go and you can have all the money and proof of my silence in all this. Think about it. You really think you can just get the money in this easily? Are you okay with playing hide and seek for the rest of your life? I couldn't finish my words. Seeing her expression, I realized that was it. Under the night light, she looked almost like a dream, too empty and transparent to be touched. That smile couldn't hide her helplessness, and those eyes were filled with regret. Silence and immense sadness. There's no turning back. Her voice was surprisingly calm. There was no anger or accusation, only concession in that expression. She surrendered to her hopeless life. Nothing was more convincing than that expression. So even she could make such an expression of hopelessness. There has been no turning back since a long time ago. The phone vibrated again. Seeing her pick up the phone, I couldn't say anything. I should have known. The moment the phone rang, nay from the very beginning. She had no other choice in this. Under the serene moonlight, the cogwheel started to spin faster. Oh man, that's it! Well, this just got much more interesting. My goodness. Hold on. Take my applause, please. No, we'll stay on the screen for now. So, final thoughts. There's a lot of things that do need to be edited and fixed in post. That was a little bit unavoidable, unfortunately, but really strong start to the game. Really good sense of tension, atmosphere. Really good development of characters, even in that short amount of time. This is so key, especially in these kind of games, these darker thriller type games. You gotta make the protagonist somebody that we want to side with, and not just some unbeatable hero like you would get in an action anime or something like that. And you really get it from this guy. Like I want this guy to get out of this nonsense, but clearly the situation is a little bit bigger than him. And I want to know what these girls' stories are. If they're being manipulated by someone, the question is why. Is it just for the money, or what's going on? So there are a lot of questions left to be answered. The mechanics are all great. I wish I had a little bit more time instead of just 4 options. And but I'm assuming the better you manage it, the more information you can get. And it may have just been my bad choice in managing stamina. But there's a lot of good in this game. And I'm really looking forward to the full release. Sekai Project, and I'm sure me and Sekai Project, or Sekai Project and I, will be butting heads in the near future over some things. But I can't deny that their lineup has gotten stronger in the last year and a half. Between this, Fatal 12, the new Fault game that's coming out, they really have some strong titles up to bat, and it's going to be a very good year for them, depending on if this all releases, or 2018, 2019 is planning up to be a very good year for them. So I'm looking forward to this. Good work to everybody involved so far. Hopefully we will continue to see that good work in the full release. But I want to know what you guys think. We got a link in the description for where you can get the demo on Steam, so definitely check that out. And leave a like if you've enjoyed the video so far. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about what we've seen so far. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, and vnsnow.com. That's vnsnow.com for more videos and playthroughs and reviews and all the good stuff that comes with interactive fiction, visual novels, and everything in between. I don't know what I'm going to play next. There's a lot of stuff that I've been meaning to play and haven't gotten to, but Videos will resume, and eventually I'll put up a video explaining what's going on. But again, just go to vmsnow.com. You can see what I've been up to. It's a lot of news and information that I've been working on. So it's good to be back, and looking forward to bringing more fantastic visual novels and games to you guys, such as this in 2018. See you soon.